Welcome back to another quick episode of Spaceman 2.0. In this little short episode, we're going to point out that the Brotherhood of the Snake, the Sons of Belial, and the Law of One have been the ones behind every religion and every movement, war, and planning to take your soul on this planet. Infinite plane is what we live on. Nikola Tesla knew it. This is what the Earth really looks like. Look how big Australia is compared to Canada. Look how big Brazil is compared to Canada. Parts of Africa. You can fit a whole Canada in Africa and then another one and another one pretty much. There's a lot of space on this planet. And a lot of space they don't tell you about. They don't tell you the reality of what is in space. Because we can't get into space. They fooled us with the moon mission, but they can't fool us anymore. Okay, that's why you take a straight path from Bali right by Alaska to get to Los Angeles. That doesn't make sense on a globe map, but it does why the flight paths are straight. You can go straight from Canada, okay, to India. And you go right over London, England, basically, to go to India. Or else it doesn't make sense on a flight path when you see the big rounded hoops. That doesn't make sense. So besides that, I'm going to tell you how about the Brotherhood of the Snake has the three monotheistic religions are still worshipping the cult of Saturn, the cult of Satan. Actually, the three monotheistic religions are worshipping the cult of Satan. So let me just draw you a couple diagrams to help illustrate this point. So we'll call it the cult of Satan or Saturn. Okay, so they got us focused on Saturn no matter what. All right, so before the Old Testament, there was the Testament of the 12 apostles. The 12 ancestors, sorry. So the 12 ancestors came first before the Old Testament, which then gave birth to the New Testament, which adds 12 disciples. So they use the same stories over and over again. Now, just to get into it, the Old Testament is basically what? A Star of David, right? If you think about it, 6 points. Okay. So you have 6 points on the star. And that gives you the Star of David. All right. So we can go right like that, and then like that, and then like that, and then like that, and then like that. So you basically got the Star of David. Now, what do you get when you take the Christian cross? Okay? If you break this up into parts, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. This is a box that's folded. Unfolded, I mean. This is actually a representation of a cube. How is that? For the Jews, which isn't a name that came into existence till the 17th century, to clump in all the Khazarian barbarians that have taken over that clan and rule it from the inside. And then you got the Christians. And then you got Islam. Islam, they walk around the Kaaba, right? What's a Kaaba? It's a cube. So let's start this off again. See that? 6 points. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's a cube. See that? Very simple. They walk around this cube, circumnavigator, whatever that big word is. They have a black drape over it. Underneath it are symbols, okay? All over of ancient pagan gods. Okay, these sites that they had to get these people to come to were ancient pagan ritual sites, especially the ones that these guys worship in Jerusalem. There was Moloch worshiping Judeans that would sacrifice the children and babies and children of other religions and stuff like that, and give the blood and suck the blood and bloodletting and vampirism. It's all from the pagan religions behind these three things. So to hide what's really going on, they hid it in plain sight. We worship the cult of Saturn. Even they say Saturday is the day to rest. They worship the cult of Saturn. They change it to Sunday, but they know it's supposed to be Saturday. They walk around the cube. This has 6 sides. This has 6 parts. This folds up into a cube. And this is a secret cube without you even knowing. So we're all looking at the cube, which represents Saturn. And Saturn represents Satan. So, with that being said, all the 3 monotheistic religions, you got Esau fighting against Jacob, and Jacob stole Esau's inheritance. Now they say that all of Esau's descendants, which are all of these people, are Edomites and Amaleks, and they need to be destroyed because unless they become part of the Noahide laws, they can't be grafted into the Abrahamic religion, which means that it's all BS because this was taken from the Merkabah. The Merkabah is the first 8 cells in the body, and it forms these shapes. There's no thing that man has created that God didn't create first. Okay, Hebrew language created by man. Sanskrit was created by man. Egyptian hieroglyphics was created by man. No, I mean God. Sorry, Sanskrit was created by God. Hebrew was created by God. Aramaic was created by God. Okay, and you have to use, in order to do that, you need this piece inside a tube torus, okay, which is what your body forms. And then when you put this shape that comes inside the tube torus inside a tetrahedron, which is a 3-sided pyramid, and you shine a light, this is probably what they're trying to get at with the pyramid and the spectrum of the colors. Probably at a certain degree, at different degrees, you get the shadow from this image over here, like a yod, or a hey for Hebrew. I don't know Sanskrit, but I know some Hebrew letters. Or a vowel. Okay. And the name of God in Hebrew is Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, which is a head, arms, heart and spine, and legs. Okay, sorry, it's a bad rendition of it, but this is the basic concept of it. And you're made in the image of God. So don't let anyone take away your true power by getting you to worship the cult of Saturn, the cult of Satan. Okay, they use the moon. They worship the moon because the moon is a satellite for getting the energy. As we go to churches and we, by indirectly, give our attention to these pagan symbols that represent the black cube of Saturn, you're bringing energy from Saturn into the planet, onto the planet, to fulfill the Illuminati's agenda of deception and taking over all people to make them slaves to a master race, considered higher and better than everyone else. Probably because they are from the Nephilim and they believe they're half-blooded princes and princesses from the fallen angels of old. In this time, there shall be giants like in the time of Noah. So, when you start seeing the giants appear, who knows? That might mean we are in the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning. I should say, we're going into a new age, the age of awareness, the age of understanding. We're going from Christ consciousness into cosmic consciousness. We all have to wake up, stand up, and realize we are all of God. And those that go against life are of the devil or of evil. Even devil is lived spelled backwards. So that's which goes against that which once lived is the devil. If you once lived, it's dead. So the devil's into dead things. Cannibalism, blood cult, sacrifice. Okay? That's why children go missing. So keep an awareness of your children at all times. Over 8 million children go missing a year. Now it's 25 million. Okay, in Ukraine, they were blowing up bioweapons labs and child trafficking, human trafficking, underground places. All right? I'm not saying Putin's the best guy on the planet, but they're blaming him for a bunch of stuff that the CIA is doing, USA is doing too. Okay, the UK and the USA are run by, as well, Israel, and they all create the patterns of chaos on the planet. All three of them together. All right, so let's not fall for the lies. Underneath that black drape over the Kaaba is pagan symbols of all the gods of the past. The Christians have a cross, which is unfolded cube. The Jews have the Star of David, which is really a six-pointed star, which is really a cube hidden in plain sight. And it's trying to hide the Merkaba, which is the first 8 cells of the human body form a star tetrahedron. And this is your divine image around you, a field of light, a field of frequencies that if you get activated, you can actually be in another state of consciousness for sure, and maybe do some other miraculous things. Okay, with that being said, this is Spaceman 2.0. I hope you realize you are worshiping Saturn when you worship. You're worshiping Satan when you worship these symbols. If you think you're run by Esau and Jacob having a fight, you might as well go to the Bhagavad Gita where they were brothers and having a fight. All the religions talk about brothers having a fight. And they want to destroy Amalek and Edom because they're the older brother that needs to serve the younger brother and be slaves unto the younger brother. Well, this doesn't fly with me. It's kind of bullshit if you think about it. The only thing we should be achieving in our life is a state of mind that expresses Christ consciousness. Not a man dying on a cross, but Christ consciousness. One of giving, loving, truth, harmony, peace. Okay? Non-violence. If anything has to deal with violence. I know people from all of these cliques. All of these areas of life. I know real ones. I know fake ones. I know real ones. I know fake ones. I know real ones. I know fake ones. And they all believe in the truth of God and love. They know violence is wrong. Okay, they've been in situations in their life. They know violence is wrong. They know the truth will set you free. And that's what Jesus came to say. And his name wasn't Jesus. His name was Emmanuel. They said his name is Jesus, built a cult around him, made a Christian religion to get everyone to follow. They assorted the holy books that, you know, there's a lot of good truths in them, but they assembled them in the way they wanted in the Council of Nicene about 300 to 400 years after. You know, they hung Christ on the cross and did all that. So how are you going to get people to follow a new religion? Well, you create it yourself. And then you make it. So this Christian religion has been going on, kind of like the death, resurrection, and all that has been happening in all the religions. Mithraism, Egyptian, Osiris, all that stuff. So please, guys, this is just a rehash of what a man was trying to teach. He's trying to teach the truth will set you free. And then they made a religion around him and tried to get everyone to follow him. And really they're following pagan ritual symbols and still back to the cult of Saturn. So they fool you into giving energy to the moon, to the Saturn. The moon is a satellite, remember, and it focuses the energy of Saturn onto the Earth. And it helps to intensify. And Saturnic energy is discipline, responsibility,